This is the 7th of May 2023. You tune to Sunday Express. The government maintains that it is not fighting churches, and freedom fighters urged to come together and ensure that the late Mukami Kimathi receives a befitting send-off. This and so much more coming up on Sunday Express. But first things first, the highlights.
Katiba yetu imepeana uhuru wa kuabudu na uhuru wa dini.
The government denies stifling freedom of worship and cautions rogue clerics of dire consequences. President William Ruto calls for concerted efforts globally to avert the adverse effects of climate change. And in honor of Mukami Kimathi, freedom fighters are urged to cooperate in giving her a befitting send-off on Saturday. Good evening, this is Sunday Express. I'm Regina, Manyara, and our sign language interpreter this evening is none other than Baron Abole. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kindiki has dismissed claims that the government is fighting churches following the Shakahola incident, saying Kenya is a democracy and freedom of worship is guaranteed. He, however, called on religious leaders to adhere to the teachings of the Holy Scripture and not manipulate believers into acts that lead them into harm or death.
The Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Professor Kindiki, was among guests at the 50th anniversary celebrations for Kotalengo Catholic Mission Hospital in Meru County. It is here that he affirmed the government's commitment to respect the freedom of worship, but cautioned those misleading the flock of dire consequences.
Itaendelea kurekebisha ni makanisa machache ama viongozi wachache wanaotumia dini, wanaotumia maandiko matakatifu kudhulumu, kuangamiza na kuadhiri wananchi.
On the Shakahola deaths probe, Kindiki dismissed claims by Azimio leader Raila Odinga of being denied access to the forest, saying that the area is a crime scene that shouldn't be tampered with.
That is a security operation zone. Keep off unless you have something you want to go do there. I allowed the members of parliament, the members of the National Assembly Committee on Security, because they are exercising an oversight mandate on the executive. They were all there, members from government side, members from opposition side. They were all there. We took them around. We have nothing to hide. But we cannot have everybody there going to do politics there, going to stock cheap things there.
Kindiki was accompanied by local leaders who drummed up support for the Ruto-led administration, saying they're fully behind the government of the day in its quest to deliver development to the Kenyan people. Yusufar reporting for Sunday Express.
Thousands of worshippers on Sunday flocked to Pastor Ezekiel's Odero's New Life Prayer Center and church in Mavueni, Kilifi County, for the first time since the church was closed more than a week ago. The faithful, however, had a difficult time accessing the church after police officers barricaded the premise.
The faithful, some of whom had arrived as early as 4 a.m., waited patiently outside for their leader to emerge from his palatial residence located within the more than 300-acre compound. Police said they had orders to close the church and bar worshippers from accessing it, but failed to produce any court order on the same when challenged by pastors' lawyers Dunstan Omari and Cliff Ombeta. The lawyers termed the move by the police as tantamount to the persecution of the church.
The procedure to communicate closure is by a document legal with a stamp of the coat of arms of the Republic of Kenya. They don't have. The losses that will be incurred from the shopping mall, the police officers will be held liable.
They argued that the complex is host to several other activities and businesses such as a restaurant, a shopping mall, and several construction sites, among others, that have nothing to do with the church.
We will be demanding they will compensate those construction sites which have timelines to be completed. Yes. And we'll hold the police officers individually responsible.
Rights za mtu, individual rights, fundamental rights, za kuomba, za kukutana, za kuja pamoja, za kuabudu, ni right ambazo zimepewa na constitution kabisa. Ukiweza kutaka kuzitoa, lazima uende mahakama na mahakama ikupatie barua. Lazima uende kotini.
The church has a capacity of 45,000 people, but due to the tribulations of the televangelist, they expected more than double the capacity. After briefing the press, Pastor Ezekiel and his two lawyers led the faithful in a march into the church compound for worship. Michael Moniga for Sunday Express.
And the government maintains that it is not fighting churches but has put on notice rogue clerics. President William Ruto has urged the Western world to stop finger-pointing and work together to confront climate change. The president says climate change poses a threat to all nations that must now work together or perish together.
President, how are you, my good friend?
Speaking during a strategic dialogue on the African Climate Action Summit held at the Global Center on Adaptation GCA in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, President Ruto said climate change is influencing every conversation across the globe, citing education, water provision, agriculture, trade, security and health.
Africa is not coming to the table as a victim of climate change. Africa is coming to the table with solutions, with our ideas, with our suggestions. And we believe that we can contribute.
The president called on developed countries to provide the expertise to leverage Africans' abundant renewable energy.
We have renewable resources, energy resources especially, in abundance. And we can meet halfway if we can leverage on technology from elsewhere and financing from elsewhere and fashion a win-win outcome.
Former Secretary General of the United Nations Ban Ki-moon lauded President Ruto for spearheading the campaign on climate change action. He appealed to multilateral organizations to support the African Climate Action Summit that will be hosted in Kenya in September.
I'll be in Nairobi on September 4th when you chair African Union Summit meeting on climate action.
Chief Executive Officer of the Global Center on Adaptation, Professor Patrick Vekoen, urged developed countries to honor their climate finance commitments.
I think this could be a signal of cooperation that we need so desperately at the moment. And I must say I was very of your wording, because not in terms of victims, but what can we do? Which actions are necessary? How can we bring forward the right solutions?
The president was accompanied by Environment Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya and Kenyan Ambassador to the Netherlands, Margaret Shava. Michael Moniga for Sunday Express.
Back home, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged Mau Mau veterans to join hands with the government and give Mukami Kimathi a befitting send-off. Gachagua says the death of Mukami presents the perfect opportunity to discuss and address historical injustices committed against the freedom fighters. Gachagua spoke even as Raila Odinga urged the government to expedite the compensation of the living Mau Mau veterans.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called upon all leaders to join hands and accord the late Mukami Kimathi the burial she deserves.
Tukuwe mchanganyiko maalum. Iko wale freedom fighters, iko collaborators, iko kila mtu wakuje hapa tumsidikishe mama, kwa sababu hiyo ndio njia ya kuendelesha Kenya. Kwa hivyo sisi tuseme kama serikali tutafanya kila juhudi kumsidikisha huyo mama na ile njia ambaye inatakikana.
He at the same time lamented the land injustices faced by the Mau Mau fighters.
Wao inajulikana hao watu wetu wa Mau Mau waliingia msituni wa Aberdare na Mount Kenya kupigana na Muingereza ambaye alikuwa amechukua mashamba na kunyang'anya sisi uhuru wetu. Na hata kama tulipata uhuru, mambo ya mashamba ilienda kombo. Na hii debate tutaianza kuongea juu yake, kwa sababu hii kifo cha mama ni chanzo mzuri ya sisi kuanza hiyo mjadala. tuulizane, mashamba ilikuwa imetengwa ya Mau Mau ilienda wapi? Ilichukuliwa na nani na kwa nini?
Mau Mau veterans have been demanding compensation for the pain incurred during the fight for liberation. Opposition leader Raila Odinga, who condoled with the Kimathi family at the Lee funeral home, called on the government to finalize the compensation of the remaining Mau Mau war veterans.
We also want, eventually, the government to bring a closure to the issue of Mau Mau, the suffering with the people, the remnants of those who participated in the struggle, some of whom have remained landless all this time. We want this issue to be settled.
Of May as the burial date. Mukami died on Thursday night at the Nairobi hospital, aged 96 years. Tilio Marco for Sunday Express.
May her soul rest in peace. Now, a section of political leaders from Western region have called on government critics to give President William Ruto time to deliver on his promises. Led by Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale, the leaders rallied the Western region behind Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and the government's development agenda.
Political leaders drawn from the Luhya community have continued to rally their people in support of the ruling party. At a burial ceremony, politics hitting at the opposition took center stage as the leaders called for patience for the government to deliver.
Wakenya hawakupiga kura tu hivi kwa sababu there was a plan. That's why he got that seat. So give him time to implement the plan.
Na nyinyi mnaelewa vizuri hii serikali imepewa kwa mikono ya mtoto wenu mwenye ana ujuzi zaidi, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi. Mnajua uchumi ulikuwa umeharibika enzi ya marehemu Moi, na ndani ya miaka 5 Mudavadi aligeuza uchumi na kuwa mzuri.
The leaders warning of consequences on the community should the government enter into a handshake with the opposition.
Ile kazi yenye wewe unaweza pata sio ya president, mkienda kwa handshake na Ruto atapata ya prime minister, na saa hii chief prime minister ni Musalia Mudavadi. Kama wewe unaunga Raila mkono, ujue unatafutia Raila kazi, mtaua aondolewe na Ruto Raila aingie.
Leaders in the United Democratic Alliance Party expressed confidence that the Kenya Kwanza team will run the bipartisan talks in good faith.
Na tayari mazungumzo tumerudia, sisi tuko tayari kukubaliana na chochote kile Kenya itahakikisha kwamba Kenya iendelee.
Khalwale na timu muende mtengeneze maneno kwa hii bipartisan talks, tufate suluhisho. Na lakini nyinyi watu wa hapa, watu wa mkoa wa Magharibi, mnataka mkate igawe nusu.
Meanwhile, the Pamoja African Alliance Party, PAA, has kicked off a grassroots registration exercise at the Coast region in a bid to amass numbers ahead of the 2027 general elections. The party, whose founder is the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, has however ruled out plans of folding to join UDA.
PAA as a party, although registered on the very last day, is one of the largest parties strength-wise in the National Assembly and in the counties. I think we are 11th largest party overall nationally.
Kwa hivyo masala yanayozungumzwa kule sisi kwetu sisi huko kwa hakuna wala hayajafikishwa huko. Kwa hivyo inaweza kuwa ni siasa inaendelea, lakini sisi tuko pando katona tuko hapa na tumevaa kwa sababu ukivunja chama leo ndio kupa mfano. Sasa wale wabunge wote waliochaguliwa na PAA watakwenda wapi?
The leaders say the party is focused on addressing the concerns of coastal people. Kamchemenza for Sunday Express.
Calls to beef up security in Kwisaro, Kakamega County took center stage during the funeral of former East Kisii Ward Representative Stephen Maloba, who was stabbed to death at a political rally. Chaos, however, erupted at the funeral as members of parliament present took issue with members of County Assembly for allegedly denying them a chance to address the gathering. The MCAs had accused the MPs of not condemning the killing of the MCA at a political rally organized by Kusora Member of Parliament Christopher Aseke.
A flying chair is caught mid-air as a melee ensued in Monjeti area, Kwesero constituency in Kakamega County during the funeral of former East Kisa Member of County Assembly Stephen Maloba. Outraged members of County Assembly barred members of Parliament present from speaking at the funeral, accusing them of negligence in Maloba's death that occurred at a political event organized by Kwesero Member of Parliament Christopher Aseke.
MPs wetu hawakulali kitendo. Kutembea pamoja. Na kutembea pamoja ni kusaidia wananchi na kuwa na urafiki MCAs na MP.
We are all equal to the task. Tusionane kama maadui.
Ningeomba wenzangu tuende tukae. Tujue usalama wetu utakuwa namna gani. Swala wa kwanza kwa ukatusi ya Kenya hii ni nani?
Ukiangalia hapa security iko hii side nyingine hapa kwa MCA.
Attempts by Kenya Kwanza's Secretary General Cleophas Malala to call the situation, however, drew criticism from Siaya Governor James Orengo and others.
Tunauliza kwa nini wajaenda kuhakikisha wanaijibika na kifo cha Maloba.
Walipokufa wanasema kuna usalama. Wakati ambapo Muliro alikufa wanasema kuna usalama. We are not going to negotiate with the national government.
Anatuambia naomba Inspector General. Unaomba nini? Naomba nataka mtu kila siku. Hii hapo mseo tunataka wale polisi wote.
ODM Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Oparanya, DAPK Party Leader Eugene Omalo, and Kakamega County Governor Fernandez Baraza blamed security officers in the region for lethargy.
Haitoshi kama viongozi tuje tu hapa tuseme pole. Apart from saying pole, we want to demand justice for Maloba and Maloba's family.
We are not going to rest until justice is done for Manyara people. The issue of security, we are going to give it priority. Tumetokuwa na kikao kule Council of Governors na Mheshimiwa Orengo pia wanasaidia sana.
The county commissioner, however, called for patience as investigations proceed to ensure justice is served.
Tuache uchunguzi ifanywe na taasisi ambayo inahusika DCI na tayari
Maloba's widow announced her intention to run for the same position, promising to complete the projects he initiated.
Yali takanga vitu ya ukweli na vitu ya uwazi. Haku takanga vitu ya siri. Ningeomba kama ingewezekana tu mimi nirudi kwa kazi ya mzee wangu nimalize.
Serafina Nairobi for Sunday Express.
On that note, we take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Do not go away.
What am I forgetting? Nini? Workers paid. Rent checked. Mlango locked. Visiting notice. Goza mzae silitoa jana la internet sorted. What is it? What am I forgetting?
Nini? Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Unaweza shinda hadi milioni 2 kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number weka 757070. Account number weka neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000. Lipa kisha subiri draw. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLP.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs and is scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Every Monday evening, we take you back where the action happened live. We'll let you know what you missed, even if you were present.
And our goal is to continue supporting our own.
From the latest celebrity buzz,
fashion,
music,
and all manner of youth talents,
the Grapevine cameras rove all week to bring you the latest in the enormous entertainment scene.
Watch Grapevine every Monday at 10 p.m. and the rerun on Tuesday at 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1, baby.
Engage us on Facebook and Twitter, #Grapevine on KBC. Let us know what is happening in your area code, because you know what they say, if you did not see it on Grapevine,
then it most probably never happened. Bah!
Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you gotta do.
Ni kubwa, ni mingi, ni tamu, ni yako na ni moto.
Tumengojea sana show ya Kikenya ambayo inatuelewa na inatujali na pia inajumuika nasi katika magumu ya maisha.
Guess what? We have it. The Lotto Moto Show! Uko na uwezo wa kujishindia hadi 2 million Kenyan shillings kupitia draw yetu popote unapotutazama.
Na tuko na haja ya kusikia story na magumu unayoyapitia. Tutakuita kwenye show na tutarahisisha mahali.
Nafasi za wageni watatu zipo katika kila show ambao wanajipatia fursa ya kujichagulia sanduku moja kati ya 12. Kila sanduku liko na zawadi kem na za kipekee, with lots of fun, lots of prizes and money. Lotto Moto, only on KBC.
Good evening, you're watching Sunday Express. Now, the church has called for the inclusion of persons living with disabilities and in churches and society. Speaking after a service at PCA Kariobangi South, members of the clergy noted that empowering and giving more opportunities to persons with disabilities helps them share with the world.
At PCEA Church in Kariobangi South, faithful are gathered to hear the word of God. For a prayerful country, Sundays such as this one presents an opportunity for Reverend Obonyo to share the word of God the best way he knows how.
It has continued to do very good work and has continued to support the deaf and other disabilities in this church.
Obonyo has a hearing impairment, but that does not stop him from spreading the word. Since 2019, the Reverend has used his God-given wisdom to reach out to all and sundry.
Sasa kupitia hawa tafsiri wanapata kuelewa maneno na wanapata kuingia kwenye Injili na wanazidi kuendelea.
John says sign language interpretation has come in handy.
With interpreters, life has been good. And this is why today our church has really grown bigger and bigger. So we really thank God. And also other churches kindly continue to embrace and continue to grow. We all need interpreters, for God knows everything that He always does.
Despite the progress made by society in the inclusion of persons living with disability, the group says a lot still needs to be done.
PWDs bado hawapati nafasi yao ile inastahili kuwa kwenye katiba. So naweza kuomba sana serikali iweze kuconsider hiyo, kwa sababu it is in the constitution and it is the right.
35 verses 1 to 10.
The Deaf Ministry program has been credited for building confidence and bringing persons living with disability together.
They do not see that thing that they are lacking in them, because communication is superb. They are going to school, they encourage each other and they learn a lot from one another.
Kuna shukurani sana kwa Mungu na himizo kwa Wakristo wote na hasa makanisa yale mengine aweze kujumuisha watu wote ambao wako na ulemavu tofauti.
The Deaf Ministry at PCEA Church in Kariobangi South was established 11 years ago and has so far seen 100 members join with an inclusion of 20 interpreters. Jacqueline Masharia for Sunday Express.
And there's somewhere you saw our very own Susan Suku there in that particular church service. Just to remind you that our sign language interpreter tonight is Byron Abuli. KBC does believe in inclusivity for all. Now, the government is focusing on expanding water storage infrastructure for irrigation in parts of Western Kenya as it seeks to arrest adverse effects of extreme weather conditions in the region. The region has continuously suffered from floods during heavy rains and drought when the rains fail. Information, Communication, Technology and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eli Duwalo says the government will construct dams and expand general infrastructure as it seeks to ensure food security in the region.
As tens of households displaced by the raging floods in parts of Nyando constituency, Kisumu County and Suba South constituency in Homa Bay County struggle to find their footing, Information, Communication, Technology and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Luduwalo says the government was putting in place long-term measures that will see the region turn the disruptive waters into a viable opportunity for agribusiness.
We have got a responsive agenda that addresses the challenges facing the common mwananchi, and based on the economic blueprint that we developed for this region of Nyanza and the charters which were signed by the Kenya Kwanza team, courtesy of His Excellency the President, that is the agenda that we are going to implement in this region.
Mheshimiwa Waziri, jumla ya wananchi wote ambao wamepatwa na janga hili ni zaidi ya watu 1,300 katika kaunti hii ya Homa Bay. Tukiongea saa hii kuna familia ambao tayari wameondolewa makwao na wanaishi katika kambi kule Osodo na kule Kobuya Primary School huko Rachonyo North.
Walo, while leading other government officials in a government food distribution program in Nyando and Suba South constituencies, said solutions to perennial flooding in the region must include utilization of the excess waters during the dry season.
We want to ensure that there is sustainable food security, electricity. These floods, we are going to put dikes so that we can stop the floods from ravaging our farmlands. The floods can also be stored in dams so that during drought in January and February it is now used for purposes of irrigation agriculture.
Nyando and Suba South constituencies are amongst the regions that have suffered massive crop destruction during weeks of flooding that also saw thousands of families displaced. The leaders also seized the opportunity to urge the locals to embrace the Kenya Kwanza government and support its development agenda. Owalo will continue the food distribution program in Siaya County on Monday after similar forays in Kisumu and Homa Bay counties over the weekend. Achola Simon, Sunday Express.
Now, Kenyans have expressed mixed reactions on the recent demand by members of county assemblies to triple their salaries from 144,376 shillings to 400,000 shillings. While some supported the increment, saying the MCAs are their closest link to the government, others have dismissed the demand, saying it is unsustainable given the financial crisis the country is grappling with. Here are some of those reactions.
Nasema hii mambo ya MCA kusema ongezewe mshahara ni kama mtu aliomba kazi hakujua mshahara ni pesa ngapi. Wale wanaona mshahara haitoshi, tunawaomba tafadhali wajuzuru, uchaguzi ifanyike. Wale wanajua ile kazi wanataka na mshahara ile watalipwa, waingie kwa kiti.
Kwanza washukishe bei ya petroli. Mambo ya kuongezewa mishahara hiyo itakuja baadaye.
Kwa hivyo MCA waongezewe mshahara kwa maana wengine hawezi kuwaona kwa urahisi. Na tunaomba sana kama rais wetu anasikia aongezee MCA mshahara.
Si maasla hakuna pesa tuko nayo, wao wanaongezewa kwa nini? Wanafaa watosheke na yenye wamepata. Kama mimi nimefanya walimu sijapata kazi, alafu wao wanaongezewa.
My MCAs kuongezwa mshahara sioni inafaa kwa wakati huu. Kenya tuko na shida mingi sana ambazo zinapaswa kuwa kupewa kipaumbele kwa saa hii.
Hiyo ni haki kwa maana gavana anapewa 1.2 na kama gavana anapewa 1.2 hawa jamaa wanafaa kuwa hata kama ni kuota wa kule, kwa sababu hawa ndio tuko nao kwa ground.
We can't support the increment of salary. There is nothing they have done that proves them to be added such salaries.
Taongezewaje pesa na wengine hawana kazi? Kama sisi tunateseka, hatuna job, au nataka waongezewe kazi? Hapo haiwezi.
What is your take in regard to that particular demand by MCAs? Can get us on Twitter, and our official station handle, Twitter handle, is at KBC Channel 1. Mine is at Manyara. What is your take? Get tweeting. We're going to be sampling that in the course of this particular bulletin. Now, a 4-story building that was under construction collapsed in the Kimathi area in Kiambu constituency. Neighbors say the building developed some cracks before the masons began frantic efforts to repair the cracked sections. The fissures, however, widened, sending the building tumbling down. The incident reawakened calls for the proper regulation of the construction industry to save lives.
Walikuwa mafundi 8 ndio walikuwa wanajaribu kuweka supporters ya kushikilia nyumba ndio isianguke, lakini muda wa saa 10 hivi ndio sasa wametoroka, wakaniambia toka nje, nyumba inaanguka. Kulikuwa kuna korogwa, so hao watu wakoroga wakaanza kusema hiyo nyumba inaweza anguka, ndio wakaruka nje.
On the status of the many buildings that are mushrooming, especially those buildings that have been flagged as unsafe, we all know that the governor had authorized a team from Kiambu to move around Kiambu, and they flagged a few buildings.
We have since started our investigation, a multi-agency investigation, just to get to the bottom of this matter, to find out what really happened, what brought this building down.
Retired President Uhuru Kenyatta has stressed on the need for peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Great Lakes region. Uhuru held talks with Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye in Bujumbura, said without peace it will be difficult for the region to realize development and prosperity.
Speaking after paying a courtesy call to the President of the Republic of Burundi, Evariste Ndayishimiye, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta was hopeful that the ongoing peace process will ultimately bring peace to the people of eastern part of DRC.
Peace, and then ultimately for displaced persons to be able to go back to their homes, to resettle, to go back to their farms, for stability to be restored in the region.
Uhuru was on a 2-day official visit attending the 11th summit of the Regional Oversight and Cooperation Framework for the Democratic Republic of the region, confirming the possibility of an upcoming East African summit.
We were basically just going through the preparations of the possible upcoming East African summit, so that we can see how we can take forward some of the issues that were deliberated upon yesterday, all aimed at bringing peace to the people of Congo, especially the eastern part of the DRC.
The retired president, who had also presented his report to heads of state on the progress and recommendations for the next important steps of the Nairobi-led peace process during a closed-door session, emphasized the need for peace and stability in the region.
It's not only going to be in Congo's favor, it is going to be in favor of the entire region, so that people can trade with one another, people can move goods and services. This is the way to bring development and prosperity to the entire region. But that is not possible without peace.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who represented President Ruto in the talks in Bujumbura, said it's only the regional leaders who can deliver lasting peace for the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan and the region. Mudavadi lauded the country's member states for the peace, security and cooperation framework in their quest towards restoring peace, security and stability in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan and the Great Lakes region at large. Sarafina Nairobi, for Sunday Express.
Back home, the Kimathi International Conference Center has launched a deliberate strategy to promote business of meetings, incentives, travel and conference, as well as exhibitions in the rural parts of the country, as opposed to the traditional capital. Acting KICC Chief Executive Officer Patricia Odang says a move is geared towards opening rural Kenya for tourism growth and, in turn, economic development.
Why we want this to happen is that whenever we go out and bid and market the country as an event, as business event venue, venue, we are also able to tell the story and say that you don't just have to come to KICC in Nairobi. You can also host an international event here in Kisumu. Remember, there was one that Afro-Cities that happened in Kisumu. So we want to showcase that in our country we have various opportunities, various venues that you can be able to host your events. And not only events, even conferencing and exhibitions. When you host a conference here, for example, it is not only the hotel that is going to make money. It is the taxi operators who are going to make money. It is the mama boga who's going to make money by selling the food to the hotel. So imagine when you're having 100 people, how much food is going to be consumed?
We are very much on track, and we believe with this kind of partnership that KICC has given us, for us as Kisumu, we are set to go.
We have quite a number of high-end hotels, including the one we are hosted today and several others in the region. I can also confirm that right now, if you look at your backyard in a small center or a town, you'll find a resort, you'll find a medium-sized hotel set up there.
What am I forgetting? Nini, workers paid, rent checked, mlango locked, visiting notices, goza mzae silitoa jana la internet sorted. What is it? What am I forgetting?
Nini, nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Unaweza shinda hadi milioni 2 kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number, weka 757070. Account number, weka neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000. Lipa, kisha subiri draw. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLP.
To get Skizatune Hail Mary, dial *811 *963 hash.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
To get Hail Mary, dial *811 *963 hash *811 *963 hash.
Still watching Sunday Express. Now, a family in Kino, Kiambu County is appealing to well-wishers to help them raise 1.5 million shillings to enable their kin undergo surgery to remove a brain tumor. 65-year-old man Michael Navade was diagnosed with skull-based sarcoma, a type of cancer that begins in the connective tissues of the body.
Jessica Kisha says her family is engaged in a war of a lifetime. Their patriarch is ailing. Michael Navade has a brain tumor that needs to be surgically removed. However, there is a problem. The family is cash-strapped and cannot afford to foot the medical bill.
Mzee amekuwa mgonjwa kwa mwaka moja na nusu. Na vile nimesema, hii ugonjwa ilianza kama malaria tu, kidogo kidogo homa. Imekuja kukua tu mzito kwa miezi 8. Miezi 8 ndio nimeona mwili imezofeka kabisa. Mwenyewe akuli, saa nyingine anashindwa hata kutembea.
Michael has been in and out of the hospital, each trip costing the family a fortune.
Madhara ni makubwa sana sababu mzee amekuwa tegemeo. Amekuwa akisimama kama mzee kwa boma, akishughulika hapa na pale, lakini kwa wakati huu amelala tu chini. Inabidi sisi wenyewe tuwe wa kushughulika. Kila alikuwa anafanya kwa wakati hawezi fanya. Sasa imekuwa ni madhara kwetu kwa maana hawezi fanya kila angekuwa anajifanyia.
The family is appealing to well wishers to help them raise some 1.5 million shillings to enable Michael to undergo surgery.
Well wishers, naomba tu mnisaidie niweze kupeleka mzee hospitali akatibiwe. Maana hakuna hospitali tunaingia bila pesa. Ni Mkenya yote yule ananisikiza kwa saa hii, tafadhali mnisaidie niweze kuponya maisha ya huyu mzee.
Well wishers can send their contribution through M-Pesa Changa Paybill 891300, account number 69073. Michael Navadi.
In the event that story has touched your heart and you want to extend your gratitude and also just aid to this particular family, you can get in touch through the numbers that have been shared there. Better yet, for further details, our website www.kbc.co.ke. Now to the counties. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, has urged churches to continue helping the government improve education standards in the country. Speaking in Samburu County, Wetangula encouraged religious organizations to keep investing in education as it was important to the economy.
Speaker Moses Wetangula said the Kenya Kwanza administration will continue to partner with churches to ensure education and health remain a priority.
Kwa sababu in some of these areas, kama hapa Samburu, ukienda Turkana, ukienda kule Isiolo, ukienda Baringo, churches have been playing an even bigger role than the government in helping our people kwa mambo ya elimu.
Wetangula spoke even as Nyaribari Masaba MP Daniel Manduku questioned the practicability of the new model that will be used to fund tertiary and higher education in the country.
We will not allow any of our children to be left out of university education on account of poverty. And so we want to know the formula up front, so that come September, when the children report to university, we already know who is getting what.
Meanwhile, a battle royale at the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry KNCCI has taken shape ahead of the body's national election set for June 8th.
Tukiendelea hapo mbele maneno ya trade exhibitions, tunasema kwamba tunataka kuweka kila region. Tumejigawa katika region 10 hapa Kenya in terms of eneo za biashara. So hapa North Rift tungependa kusema kila mwaka tutakuwa tunaweka a large exhibition ambayo mtaweza kukuja kuangalia biashara aina tofauti na tofauti.
Elsewhere, the Association of Pentecostal Evangelistic Fellowship of Africa Bishops in Migori County now want the government to put on hold any statute that will regulate the operations of churches in Kenya.
Anybody who can use the Holy Bible to manipulate and mislead another to lose his life or a life due to false and inhuman teachings. This act enlightens us to the importance of training and educating our church leaders.
Finally, leaders in Bomet have commended the magnanimity of James Finlay's tea company following its sale to the Sri Lankan Browns company.
Of course, they will not be moving totally out of Kenya. For example, in Kericho, they will still maintain the Sausa tea extract factory. So it means they will be part of us.
The leaders say despite the bad publicity that had rocked the company in recent The company has run an effective corporate social responsibility in the region. For Sunday Express, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
Well, now that puts a cap of matters news, but we're not done and dusted. I know those who are watching right now, Manchester United is still taking on West Ham, and Arsenal fans are celebrating that particular win against Newcastle. All this will be coming up in not so long with Daniel Wahome, so do keep it right here.
Instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Every Monday evening, we take you back where the action happened live. We'll let you know what you missed, even if you were present.
And our goal is to continue supporting our own.
From the latest celebrity buzz,
fashion,
music,
and all manner of youth talents,
the Grapevine cameras rove all week to bring you the latest in the enormous entertainment scene.
Watch Grapevine every Monday at 10 p.m. and the rerun on Tuesday at 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1, baby.
Engage us on Facebook and Twitter, #Grapevine on KBC. Let us know what is happening in your area code, because you know what they say, if you did not see it on Grapevine,
then it most probably never happened. Bah!
Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you gotta
do. Sports News is brought to you by Mozart Bet.
Aviator Instant Game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
A good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Sunday Express Sport. We start with rallying, where Lioness Rally champion Maxine Wahome, Eric Bengi, Joseph Gachenge and Cheche Ababu are this year's winners of the Machakos Rally Cross Championship after winning their respective divisions. The two-day event came to an end today at the Machakos People's Park.
Maxine Wahome won the women's category after bagging 4 points in the first round ahead of Karo Gatimu and Natasha Tundo, who completed the podium dash. Joseph Gashege dominated the junior category ahead of Jeremiah Wahome and Raf Jathethi, who completed the top 3 positions. In the champions category, Eric Bengi beat Andrew Muiruri and Carl Flash Tundo to emerge the winner. Cheche Ababu won the under-14 junior category.
100%. We're really keen to develop the cubs that we're getting racing here. I think, as you said, you start them early. If you look at Formula One and all these around the world, they start young. They start from go-karts. So that's what we're trying to do, get the next generation that's super excited about motorsport.
It's purely a rally cross car, built by Tim and Flash and Rob Gow. So yeah, on the rally side, I've got a rally car that I've imported that's coming in, and I'll look towards the middle of the year to compete in that.
Those corners, they did me dirty, but yeah, at the end, I mastered them. I was able to control the car on the corners, and yeah.
The two-day event came to an end Sunday at Machakos People's Park. Maxine Wahome and Eric Bengi are among the winners of Machakos Rallycross this year's edition. And now the eyes shift focus to the WRC Safari Rally set for June this year. For Sunday Express, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Thank you very much, Dan Wendo. I know people asking, Maxine Wahome, well, you know, she's out on bail, so she's free to compete. Now, moving on is that former league champions Gor Mahia are still perched at the top of the log despite playing a goalless draw against Wazito FC in a closely contested Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played at the Muhoroni Stadium. Meanwhile, AFC Leopards edged Nzoia Sugar by a 1-0 at the Nyayo National Stadium.
AFC Leopards took an early lead through Ojo Olanyi in the 45th minute. Despite a spirited fight from the visitors, Leopards held on to register the victory. Nzoia are currently third on the league table with 57 points, while AFC Leopards are ninth with 42 points. In other matches, Sofapaka defeated Kariobangi Sharks 1-0. Tusker FC humbled Kakamega Homeboys 1-0. Bandari saw off Vihiga Bullets 7-2. Ulinzi Stars drew 1-1 with Nairobi City Stars. Mathare United lost 3-0 to Bidco United, while KCB humbled Posta Rangers 1-0.
Now, the National Bank of Kenya men's basketball team humbled Congo Nets 75-46 in Game 2 of their Division 2 playoff series at the Nyayo National Stadium Indoor Gymnasium. The playoff series is now tied at 1-1 after Congo Nets registered victory in Game 1 on Saturday.
The playoff series is now tied at 1-1 after Congo Nets won the first match 68-70 on Saturday. The Bankers took charge of the first and second quarter of the game, winning 16-11 and 16-7. They came back stronger in the third quarter, outshining Congo Nets 22-8. The Nets struggled in the last quarter of the game but narrowly lost 21-20. Maurice Matunga was the top scorer for the Bankers after contributing 17 points, while Joel Were and Lamek Moruka contributed 14 and 13 points apiece. In another match played at the same venue, Zitex Sparks defeated African Nazarene University Bathurst 83-42.
Now, Wangeshi Maina, Michelle Pwakuyu and Andrew Ogola displayed outstanding performances on Day 2 of the Nairobi County Interclubs Open and Age Group Swimming Championship at the Makini School. The two-day event attracted over 200 swimmers.
Pwakuyu Michelle clocked 39.98 seconds to secure the win in the 10 and 11 years 50 meters breaststroke ahead of Daniel Lusa and Vanessa Simbo, who settled in that position respectively. Maina Wangeshi recorded a time of 1 minute 9.37 seconds to win the girls 14 and 15 years 100 meters freestyle and also emerged victorious in the girls 100 meters breaststroke and 50 meters butterfly respectively.
I'm really looking forward to seeing different people because it won't only be people from Nairobi County, so I expect to see other people and to perform really well. Yeah, so training is going to be tough this coming week.
In the boys 10 and 11 years 50 meters butterfly and 100 meters freestyle, Andrew Ogalo recorded a time of 35.23 seconds and a 1 minute 10.98 seconds respectively to emerge victorious.
It feels good winning the races, but the most important thing is reducing one time. I feel confident that I may be able to win.
The swimming championship attracted over 200 swimmers drawn from Nairobi County.
We are preparing them, and the top are the winners from this event, like the top 2, top 3, will definitely qualify for the national team trials. And for me, once there's passion in sports, that is the foundation of the ultimate pathway to success.
The winners of two-day event qualified for national swimming trials, scheduled to be held between 20th and 21st of this month. King Orimongi for Sunday Express.
Moving on is that Soccer Talent Academy and Agape won the inaugural MX Ligi Ndogo Inua Talanta tournament at the Ligi Ndogo grounds in Nairobi County. Soccer Talent Academy thrashed Ligi Ndogo 6-3 in the final to win the Under-11 football title. In the Under-9, Agape beat Soccer Talanta Academy 2-0 to be crowned champions. Makolandas edged out Faces Soccer Academy 2-0 through post-match penalties after a 2-all stalemate during normal time to claim the Under-11 ball, as Kibra Saints beat Ligi Ndogo 4-2 to settle for the plate. The one-day competition, which was organized by Ligi Ndogo Academy in collaboration with MX Auto Parts, featured 12 teams.
You sign in, and you sign in with your email and
it's a CSR. It's a CSR in our company. We normally do 3 CSRs every year. Previous few years we've only been doing tennis, but then we realized that football is the heart of so many Kenyans. So we have decided to come to football, and we believe in nurturing young skills and young talents as our CSR core value.
The purpose for the tournament is to create avenue for these kids to showcase their talent, because you can see there's so much talent around. So thanks to Amex for coming on board to support the initiative, because we talked to them and they bought the idea.
Now, Italian giants Juventus moved up to second position in Serie A with a hard-fought 2-0 victory over Atalanta. Meanwhile, League All side Monaco edged Angers 2-1 at Raymond Stadium.
Scalvini hit the post. Gasparini is called. Zapata finds the angle. Cup miners and Pasalic on the in front of the home end. He was the one who got the game down, the number 9, who finds the goal.
And Rodrigo scored 2 goals as Spanish giants Real Madrid won the Copa del Rey for the first time since 2014 after beating Osasuna by 2-1 in the final played in Seville. The victory delivered a 20th Copa del Rey title for Real Madrid, as they now turn their attention to Tuesday's